If you love this video, please help to subscribe as this will help me a lot. Standing in the middle of a bustling Chinese airport, surrounded by the hum of announcements in Mandarin and the constant shuffle of travelers dragging their luggage across polished floors, there is a certain electricity in the air that only international travel can produce. The check-in process at Chinese airports is nothing short of a well-oiled machine. Lines move with surprising efficiency. Security checks are thorough but swift, and the terminal itself feels like a small city, packed with noodle shops, bubble tea stalls, and duty-free stores glittering under fluorescent lights. After clearing immigration, which involved a facial recognition scan and a quick document check, the departure gate area opened up into a wide, airy space where travelers from all walks of life sat scrolling through phones, sipping hot tea, or catching a few minutes of sleep before their flights. The boarding process was orderly, almost choreographed, and before long, the aircraft lifted off the runway, leaving behind the skyline of one of the world's most dynamic countries. Cruising at altitude somewhere between China and Southeast Asia, the flight itself offered a surprisingly comfortable few hours. The cabin crew moved through the aisles with quiet professionalism, offering meals that leaned into familiar Asian flavors, steamed rice, braised vegetables, and a small dessert that tasted like home, regardless of where home actually was. Looking out the window, the landscape below shifted gradually from the dense urban sprawl of southern China to the lush green patchwork of Southeast Asian terrain. Rivers wound through thick forest canopies, and small villages appeared like scattered dots against an endless carpet of green. It is during these quiet moments above the clouds that the anticipation of arriving somewhere entirely new begins to build. Thailand was not just a destination on a map, it was a completely different sensory world waiting just a few hundred kilometers below, and every passing minute in the air made that reality feel more immediate and more exciting. The descent into Bangkok brought the first real glimpse of Thailand. Flat plains stretching out in every direction, dotted with golden temple spires catching the afternoon light. Landing at Suvarnabhumi Airport, one of Southeast Asia's busiest international hubs, felt like stepping into a different dimension entirely. The airport is enormous, modern, and surprisingly easy to navigate for a first-time visitor. Immigration lines moved steadily, and the officers processed arrivals with a calm efficiency that made the whole experience feel welcoming rather than intimidating. After collecting luggage from the baggage carousel, walking through the arrival hall felt like emerging into a new chapter. The signage was clear, the air conditioning was almost aggressively cold compared to the warmth waiting just outside the terminal doors, and the general atmosphere buzzed with the kind of organized energy that large international airports carry. Stepping outside the terminal and into the thick, warm air of Bangkok was the moment everything became real. The humidity wrapped around like a warm blanket, a stark contrast to the dry, cooler climate left behind in China. The smell of street food drifted faintly from nearby vendors, and the sound of tuk-tuks weaving through traffic created an immediate sensory overload that was somehow completely wonderful. The taxi ride from the airport into the city offered a moving panorama of Thai life. Golden temples rising between modern glass towers, monks in saffron robes walking along busy sidewalks, markets spilling color and noise onto every street corner. The roads were wide, the traffic was dense, and the city felt alive in a way that was impossible to fully absorb in a single ride. What struck most immediately was the warmth of the people, not just the climate, but the genuine, unhurried kindness that seemed woven into every interaction, from the taxi driver's patient smile to the hotel receptionist's gracious welcome. Thailand has a way of making you feel like you have arrived somewhere that was always meant to be visited, and that feeling settled in quickly and completely from the very first moment of stepping onto its soil.